All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Aliana Moxenchuk, and this is Jamie from Key Cellular Nutrition. And today we are going to be making this amazing AIP mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk a little bit about what the autoimmune protocol is. AIP is shortened for the autoimmune protocol.
Right.
And how it's changed your life and how we work with. So that's what we do here at Key Cellular Nutrition. We work with people that are doing the autoimmune protocol. So I'll let you take it over from here.
No, I was really excited whenever we talked last week about this recipe, like before it came out on your blog. And whenever you posted it, I was reading all the ingredients. And I personally do AIP because I have an autoimmune disorder. And Dr. Cole had helped me with that based off of changing my diet and taking the supplements that he recommends. So I was having lots and lots of gut health issues. My hair was falling out, couldn't lose weight. My sleep was either I slept too much or wasn't sleeping at all. Like there was so many other issues. But, talking with him and describing all of my issues, he was like, Jamie, listen to me, like you need to do like my program. And so I did it. And, I still stick with AIP. I do introduce like other foods. I do eat paleo every once in a while or Whole30. I just have to watch the ingredients because as I reintroduce food back into my diet, my body will tell me instantly whether like I can do that food or if I cannot. So I was really excited to do this because a lot of people think that with doing AIP and changing their diet, like it's just a bland diet. And that's not true. Like we're eating AIP and making macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
So like there's so many, like I have desserts. I have like really good breakfast. I eat tacos like it's nobody's business. And I eat AIP tacos and I make it really good. So like a lot of people, again, think it's a bland diet, but you can make it like you still have the things that you like, but just change the ingredients.
Spice it up.
Yeah,
absolutely. And let's brush a little bit on like what AIP is. So essentially it's an elimination diet of the most common foods that people are sensitive to. And this is different than food allergies and also food sensitivity testing, because I know there's a lot of people that are in this realm or interested in functional medicine. And there's a lot of people that do prescribe these tests and they can be useful. But the best way that I've personally found to figure out what I'm sensitive to is by doing an elimination diet. And that is what the autoimmune protocol is. And that is what AIP is. And in college is whenever I actually did my first round, and I was shocked within a week. I felt like a new person. And then a year, I just like kept getting better and better.
Right.
And I'm still that way today, where I feel like every year I feel like I have more energy despite getting older. And it's really crazy what you find happens in your body whenever you start giving it nourishing food. Let's brush a little bit on how do you know if you're sensitive to something. I know personally, whenever I eat something that isn't really, that for me, I avoid dairy, gluten, and soy. Those are the three things I avoid.
Right.
I feel it in my face. I get real anxious. I get hives. I start itching. I feel like I'm going to jump out of my skin. Sometimes I definitely have some stomach issues.
Right.
But what about you? Like, what are your symptoms?
I get very bloated. My stomach bloats out very much. I as well get stomach issues. And then I notice I want to sleep all the time.
Yes.
So when I notice all I want to do is take a nap during the middle of the day, I have no energy, brain fog. Like I know something's wrong and I need to change something. So, and again, Dr. Cole helped me out and realized that so much. So he has worked with me for a long time. So sometimes I fall off and he's like, Jamie, like stick with it. You need to get back on track. So, but his motto is progress over perfection. And, that's so true. So
for sure. Well, we're so excited to have you guys here and cook with you tonight. One of the things that is included in his program is we teach you how to cook. So if you're interested in his program, definitely check out his website. And there's a lot of cool webinars and things on there. And the program definitely helps you be successful. We set you up for success, which I think is pretty cool because there's a lot of programs out there.
Right.
They kind of give you what you're supposed to do and then make you run with it. Whereas our program, it gives you all the tools you need. So there's really no reason why you can't be successful.
Right. And if anybody's interested in signing up for a consultation, you could just go to the link in his bio and sign up there.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, guys. So to get started here, we are going to, my pasta's already boiled. One of my biggest, probably the thing that I buy most that isn't, fresh foods and whatnot is cassava noodle pasta. I know, Jamie, you're a huge fan, and I don't know what I did when I did AIP and this wasn't around because it's mind-boggling to me. So these noodles that we're using today are already cooked with a little bit of salt and oil. They're made from cassava noodles, cassava flour, and cassava is a root vegetable. And when I tell you these noodles are good, I mean, they're delicious.
They are very good.
I get them from Thrive Market. You can get them from Whole Foods, and they really give, they taste like pasta. So most people who, maybe aren't doing AIP, if I'm cooking something at my house, this is what I use, and people can't even tell.
Yes.
All right. So to make our cheesy sauce, we're just going to blend together here a bunch of ingredients. And this is going to make a cheesy powder that we can use multiple times. We're using nutritional yeast, which is a dairy-free alternative for cheese. It gives a lot of dishes that cheesy-like taste without actually having any cheese in it. And I use it a lot. And it's widely used not just in AIP cooking, but in paleo cooking, Whole30. And it really can take a dish from here to here. So check it out. I'm using arrowroot powder. And this is arrowroot powders. Think of arrowroot as the cornstarch in paleo cooking, AIP cooking.
Makes everything thicker.
It makes everything thicker so that, let's grab a paper towel here. So that it's not, we don't want a runny sauce. No one wants a runny sauce. You want something that sticks. So this is what's going to stick. I'm adding some garlic. I don't know about you. I always want to add more garlic than recipe calls for. Okay, so we're in the same boat. Okay, good. I am a huge garlic fan. I really, I put garlic on everything. So I add some garlic and some sea salt. I think sea salt has gotten a bad rap in the past, especially just salt in general. But sea salt, Himalayan sea salt in particular, can be really healing for the body.
Yes. I actually drink Himalayan sea salt water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it helps a lot with electrolytes.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. So a little bit of salt in there. And then I'm adding a little bit of turmeric to give it that cheesy like color. This is totally optional. You don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blend this for just about 15 seconds to get it all mixed. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pot on the stove. You can see, let's move this over. I'm going to add milk to the stove. I'm just going to get it hot. Take a few minutes. So in terms of milk, we have a little pop-up here. Okay, so in terms of milk alternatives, I know personally I struggled with being congested for nearly my whole life. That and allergies and asthma, terrible asthma.
Right.
And one of the things that whenever I first saw functional doctors, they said, you got to give up dairy. And I was like, I grew up eating cheese and bread. It was crazy to me. But when I did give up dairy, I noticed that I was no longer waking up congested every morning, that the congestion went away. And now if I do have dairy, I'm so congested. I'm so uncomfortable. It makes me never want to have it.
Right. I took dairy out of my diet whenever I was nursing my son because he would get very sick and stuff.
Yeah.
And I noticed immediately how different my body changed. And you actually don't know how much dairy is in just average products. You really have to read the ingredients and
for sure
see if there's dairy in there or not.
It's shocking because there's so many of these ingredients out there that you think are clean, but they're maybe not the cleanest.
Right.
So today we're using coconut milk. That's my go-to alternative. And AIP, paleo cooking, you can use tiger nut milk. You can use almond milk if you're not doing AIP, if you're just following a paleo diet. but I like coconut milk because I find that it's the cleanest.
Right.
Even if you do tolerate almonds, it's really hard to find a clean almond milk that doesn't have other additives in it. So the coconut milk I like to buy is from Trader Joe's, and it's in the can.
Yes.
And I buy it by the case because that's all I use.
Yeah, it doesn't have the, what's it called, gum?
Yeah, there's no gums in it.
Right.
Yeah, and those can be really bad for the stomach. It can rip apart the stomach lining. So you want to make sure that there's no additives in it. The Trader Joe's brand only has coconut and water in it. So it's super clean, and it tastes delicious too.
Yeah, my pantry's stocked
up.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to juice the lemon. I like to add the lemon to this recipe because it adds some added flavor. I'm going to put my lemon in here. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit so I can get this simmering. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the cheese sauce. The best part, in my opinion. I'm adding in some ghee here. And for those of you that don't know what ghee is clarified butter. And the reason why on autoimmune protocol, paleo, Whole30 that you can have ghee, but you can't have dairy is because there's really no actual dairy in ghee.
Right.
It is still technically considered dairy, but the two most common milk proteins that people are sensitive to are removed from butter. And that's how it's made into ghee. So how ghee is made is you put butter on the stovetop, you bring it to a boil, and that actually makes all the milk proteins rise to the top, and it burns them off. So if you're lactose intolerant or if you have a casein intolerance, a lot of times people find that they can actually tolerate ghee over butter.
And it's very easy to make too.
Very easy to make. There's actually a whole recipe on my blog to how to make that. Maybe we'll make that on a live just to show people that it's like so simple.
Right.
And it's also a really good way to save money because things can add up, especially when you're buying all these new ingredients and experimenting with them. Things can add up, but one of the ways to save is by making your own sauces, making your own ghee and things like that.
Right.
All right. So, oh goodness. We had a little issue with this blender earlier because it got stuck, and I think it got stuck again, but that's okay. We're going to just scoop it out of the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in our cheese sauce right here. Yep, she's stirring for me. All right. And we're just whisking this together so that a nice cheesy sauce forms. I wish you guys, we're not on camera. I'm not on camera. I wish you guys could be here to smell it because it smells so good. And it has that golden color like regular cheese sauce has. Right. All right, so our cheese sauce has formed. Now going to add in, we can add a little bit more of the seasoning in actually because it should be a little darker. Okay. All right, we're adding that in. Now we're going to add in our noodles. These noodles are already cooked. I cooked them in advance so that they'd be ready to go. I'm going to add in the noodles. One of the things to keep in mind whenever you are cooking noodles is it's actually more about the salt content than it is about the oil content. I think it's an old wives' tale that you add oil to your noodles rather than salt. And salt is actually what prevents them from sticking. So add a good bit of salt. Another thing to keep in mind is cassava noodles absorb much more moisture than regular noodles because they are a vegetable. So I like to cook mine more al dente rather than well done because they will continue to cook as they sit hot. All right. So we have our pasta here. It's all mixed up in our pasta sauce. We can turn this off. Let's grab a spoon so you can try. My husband's going to be so excited because he loves this recipe. Loves it. And he eats regular cheese, but he said this one's good. All right. So here, Jamie.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. It's really hot.
It's actually perfect. It's really good.
Yeah.
Very cheesy.
Very cheesy.
And then once you let it sit too, it'll still thicken up because of the arrowroot starch in there.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
It's very good.
It's like the perfect comfort meal, right? Especially in these cold nights. Yeah, it's delicious, super easy. That took maybe 10 minutes.
Right.
So the recipe. We'll post a link to it. And if you guys have any questions or have any requests for upcoming recipes, you know where to find us. Thanks for joining.